Stephen Knight reveals James Bond writing gig as a bucket list project. Imagine being handed the keys to one of the most iconic franchises in cinematic history. That's precisely what happened to Stephen Knight, who was revealed as the writer for Amazon's inaugural James Bond film just last night. This morning, the mastermind behind Peaky Blinders shared his initial thoughts on this monumental opportunity during a BBC radio interview. "It's always been a dream of mine, and I'm thrilled to have been asked to take it on. I'm eager to dive in," Knight enthusiastically stated. With a lifelong passion for the Bond series, Knight aims to infuse his script with a blend of familiarity and innovation. "I'm confident that my years as a Bond aficionado will shine through, allowing me to craft something that's both true to the essence, but also fresh, more robust, and daring," he added. Knight will be penning the screenplay for the visionary director Denis Villeneuve, though he remained tight-lipped about the potential casting for the legendary 007 role. When pressed by BBC Radio, Knight responded, "That's an excellent question, but one I'm not at liberty to answer just yet." The film is being produced by Pascal and David Heyman, with Tanya Lapointe taking on the role of executive producer. Amidst swirling rumors about who might step into the iconic Bond shoes, insiders revealed that the primary focus in recent weeks was securing the right scriptwriter. Numerous meetings were held with various candidates, with Knight emerging as the top choice. However, the final decision hinged on his meeting with Villeneuve, who is currently busy with the next installment of Dune. That pivotal meeting occurred last week, and Villeneuve gave Knight his full endorsement. But here's where it gets intriguing. Knight, renowned for his work on the BAFTA-winning series Peaky Blinders, starring Cillian Murphy, has an impressive portfolio that includes the Emmy-nominated Taboo, BBC FX, and Apple TV+, the BAFTA-nominated SAS Rogue Heroes, BBC, as well as 1,000 Blows Disney+, This Town, BBC, The Veil FX, and All the Light We Cannot See, Netflix. Interestingly, he was previously slated to write a new Star Wars film, but stepped away from the project in October 2024. And this is the part most people miss. What do you think? Is Knight the perfect choice to reinvent Bond? Or are there other writers who could bring a fresh perspective? Share your thoughts in the comments. Stephen Knight teases his vision for Amazon's James Bond. Expect the unexpected. Imagine a world where James Bond returns to the big screen, but this time he's bolder, stronger, and better than ever before. That's exactly what writer Stephen Knight promises as he steps into the driver's seat for Amazon MGM Studios' next chapter of the legendary spy franchise. But here's where it gets intriguing. How does one even begin to reinvent an icon? On Thursday, Amazon MGM Studios made it official. Stephen Knight, the creative genius behind Peaky Blinders, will be penning the script for Denis Villeneuve's upcoming 007 adventure. Known for his work on Netflix's House of Guinness, Disney's 1,000 Blows, and the highly anticipated 2024 film Maria, starring Angelina Jolie, Knight is no stranger to crafting compelling narratives. Speaking with BBC Radio 5 Live Breakfast on Friday, he opened up about his excitement and the weight of responsibility that comes with joining the Bond universe. "For years, writing a James Bond movie has been on my bucket list," Knight shared, his enthusiasm palpable. "It's such an honor to be invited to take part in something so iconic. I've been a fan of Bond since I was young, and now I hope to bring that lifelong passion into the story. My goal is to create something that feels familiar yet fresh, a Bond experience that's better, stronger, and bolder." Of course, one burning question remains on everyone's mind. Who will step into the shoes of Ian Fleming's timeless character after Daniel Craig's unforgettable tenure? When pressed for details, Knight remained tight-lipped. "That's an excellent question," he admitted with a chuckle. "Unfortunately, I can't give you the answer just yet." Knight revealed that his involvement began somewhat mysteriously. He was invited to meet with producer Pascal, though the purpose of the meeting wasn't disclosed beforehand. "I quickly realized what it was about, and let me tell you, I was thrilled," he recalled. From there, it was all about sharing ideas, having discussions, and eventually finding out I'd landed the gig. I've known for a little while now, but seeing the announcement last night was surreal. The task ahead is undoubtedly daunting, especially given the immense pressure that comes with reviving such a beloved franchise. Knight acknowledges this, but remains undeterred. "It's high pressure, absolutely," he said. "But at the end of the day, you have to trust your instincts and do the best job you possibly can." Speculation is already swirling around who might embody the next iteration of Bond. Names like Jacob Elordi, Tom Holland, and Harris Dickinson have surfaced in recent weeks, igniting debates among fans. Meanwhile, Taron Egerton recently took himself out of the running, telling Collider that he feels too messy for the role. This leaves the door wide open for other contenders, but who will ultimately rise to the occasion? Adding another layer of excitement is director Denis Villeneuve, whose vision will shape the film's tone and style. The man behind Dune expressed his reverence for the franchise in a heartfelt statement following the announcement. "I grew up watching James Bond films with my father," Villeneuve reflected. "To me, Bond is sacred ground. I want to pay homage to everything that makes these movies special, while paving the way for future missions." As we look toward the future of 007, one thing is clear. Stephen Knight and Denis Villeneuve are setting their sights on delivering a cinematic experience unlike any other. But this raises an important question. What elements should they prioritize to ensure Bond stays relevant in today's world? Should they lean into nostalgia or embrace bold innovation? And which actor would you cast as the next Bond? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your take. James Bond's next era. Stephen Knight, Denis Villeneuve join forces. Get ready for a seismic shift in the world of James Bond. The iconic spy franchise is about to get a fresh, bold makeover, and fans are buzzing with anticipation. But here's where it gets controversial. Peaky Blinders mastermind Stephen Knight has been tapped to write the next installment, and he's already stirring the pot with his vision for 007. Could this be the game-changer Bond needs, or will it divide die-hard fans? Let's dive in. Amazon MGM Studios has officially confirmed that Knight, the creative genius behind the BAFTA-winning Peaky Blinders, will pen the forthcoming James Bond film. Directed by the visionary Denis Villeneuve, known for his work on Dune, the project is already shaping up to be a blockbuster. But this isn't just any Bond film. It marks a new era for the franchise, as longtime producers Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson stepped down earlier this year, leaving the reins to fresh hands. In an interview with BBC Radio 5 Live Breakfast, Knight shared his enthusiasm. "It's always been on my bucket list, and I can't wait to get started. As a lifelong Bond fan, I'm hoping to create something that honors the legacy while pushing boundaries, something that's familiar yet entirely new, stronger and bolder." But here's the part most people miss. Knight's approach could redefine what it means to be James Bond in the modern era. And this is where the controversy begins. Who will step into Daniel Craig's shoes as the next 007? Craig's departure in 2021, after 5 films, left a void that has sparked endless speculation. British stars Aaron Taylor-Johnson and James Norton are rumored frontrunners, while Irish actor Paul Mescal's name has also surfaced. When asked about the casting, Knight coyly replied, "That's a very, very good question, one I can't answer." Is he keeping secrets, or is the decision still up in the air? Fans are eager for answers, but Knight's silence only fuels the intrigue. Knight's track record speaks for itself. Beyond Peaky Blinders, he earned an Oscar nomination for Dirty Pretty Things, 2004, and created the acclaimed BBC One series, This Town, 2024, set in 1970s and 1980s Coventry. He also wrote Spencer, 2021, starring Kristen Stewart as Princess Diana, which earned her an Oscar nomination. With such a diverse portfolio, Knight is no stranger to blending grit, glamour, and emotional depth, qualities that could elevate Bond to new heights. The last Bond film, No Time to Die, 2021, was a collaborative effort by writers Neil Purvis, Robert Wade, Cary Joji Fukunaga, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Knight's solo take promises a fresh perspective, but it also raises questions. Will his signature style mesh with Bond's timeless appeal, or will it alienate traditionalists? Knight himself acknowledges the pressure, stating, "You've just got to do what you do and do it as well as you can." Produced by Amy Pascal and David Heyman, the film is rumored for a 2028 release, according to Variety. That's a long wait, but if Knight's vision lives up to the hype, it could be worth it. And here's a thought-provoking question for you. As Bond evolves, should the franchise prioritize staying true to its roots or embrace radical innovation? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. This debate is far from over.